So let's set the stage here, because this isn't some trendy nutrition fad or clickbait nonsense. This is grounded in how your digestive system actually processes nutrients, especially after the age of 60, when things start changing inside your body in ways most people never think about. Here's what we know. After 60, your stomach produces less hydrochloric acid. That's the acid responsible for breaking food down efficiently. Your gut absorbs certain vitamins and minerals less effectively than it used to. Your metabolism shifts. Inflammation becomes a bigger concern. Cholesterol management becomes trickier. All of this means the food combinations you choose at breakfast aren't just a matter of taste anymore, they're a matter of strategy. What you pair together on that plate determines whether those nutrients get absorbed properly or whether they get blocked, wasted, or worse, converted into something your body has to fight against. Eggs, on their own, are extraordinary. One large egg contains 6 grams of high quality protein, all 9 essential amino acids, choline for brain health, lutein and zeaxanthin for your eyes, vitamin D for bone density, B12 for nerve function. For seniors, eggs are arguably one of the most important single foods you can eat, but when you pair them with the wrong foods, and almost everybody does, you can slash those benefits dramatically. In some cases, the pairing creates inflammatory responses, spikes your blood sugar unnecessarily, or blocks the absorption of the very nutrients you're eating the eggs to get. Let me walk you through all three, one by one, and I promise you, at least one of these is going to surprise you. Let's start with the big one, the one sitting on nearly every breakfast plate in America right beside those eggs. Processed meats, bacon, breakfast sausage links, deli ham, those pre-formed sausage patties you pull from the freezer. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. I've been eating bacon and eggs my entire life, and I'm still here. And look, I hear you. Nobody's saying one strip of bacon decades ago ruined your health. But what the research tells us, and this comes from long-term studies published in journals like the BMJ, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and data reviewed by the World Health Organization, is that the regular, habitual combination of eggs with processed meats creates a compounding effect inside your body that gets more damaging the older you are. Here's why. Processed meats contain something called sodium nitrite. It's used as a preservative and color fixative. It's the reason bacon stays pink instead of turning gray. When sodium nitrite hits the high heat of a frying pan and interacts with the amino acids found in protein-rich foods like eggs, it forms compounds called nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as probable human carcinogens. That means they have strong, documented links to increased cancer risk, particularly colorectal cancer, stomach cancer, and pancreatic cancer. Now think about this carefully. Eggs are loaded with amino acids. Bacon is loaded with sodium nitrite. You fry them together in the same pan, often in the rendered bacon fat itself, and you're essentially creating a chemical reaction on your stovetop that produces carcinogenic compounds, and then eating them for breakfast. But the damage doesn't stop at cancer risk. Let's talk about what processed meats do to the specific nutrients in eggs that seniors need most. Eggs contain a generous amount of HDL cholesterol, that's the protective cholesterol, the kind your cardiologist actually wants to see in your blood work. HDL cholesterol helps remove dangerous LDL particles from your arterial walls. For people over 60, maintaining healthy HDL levels is critical for cardiovascular protection. But processed meats are extremely high in saturated fat and sodium, both of which actively work against HDL function. The saturated fat in bacon and sausage promotes LDL production, and the excessive sodium triggers inflammatory responses in your blood vessel linings. So the egg is trying to give you cardiovascular protection, and the bacon is tearing that protection right back down. There's also the sodium issue on its own, which deserves a moment. A single serving of bacon, just 3 slices, contains roughly 460 milligrams of sodium. One breakfast sausage patty adds another 350 or so. The American Heart Association recommends that adults over 60, particularly those managing blood pressure, stay under 1,500 milligrams per day. That means your bacon and egg breakfast alone might account for a third to nearly half your entire daily sodium allowance, and you haven't even reached lunch yet. For seniors taking blood pressure medication, this kind of morning sodium load can counteract the medication's effect for hours. And let me mention one more thing that rarely gets discussed. Processed meats are high in advanced glycation end products, abbreviated AGEs. These are compounds that form when protein or fat is exposed to high temperature cooking, especially frying and grilling. AGEs accumulate in your tissues over time and accelerate aging at the cellular level. They stiffen your arteries, degrade collagen in your skin and joints, and worsen insulin resistance. Eggs cooked gently, poached, soft-boiled, produce minimal AGEs on their own. But the moment you throw them into a pan full of sizzling bacon grease at high heat, AGE production skyrockets. So, what should you do instead? If you love having protein alongside your eggs at breakfast, swap the processed meats for unprocessed options. A small portion of grilled chicken breast, sliced turkey from an actual roasted bird, not the deli counter, or even a handful of black beans gives you that satisfying protein without the nitrites, without the sodium avalanche, without the inflammatory fats. Your eggs can do their job. You just have to stop pairing them with the one food that undoes their work. All right, food number 2, and this one is going to hit close to home for a lot of you because it's embedded in breakfast culture so deeply that most people never question it. White bread, toast, English muffins made from refined flour, bagels, those fluffy biscuits from a tube. Essentially, any refined carbohydrate that you're using as a vehicle to carry your eggs from plate to mouth. Think about how common this is. Scrambled eggs on white toast, an egg sandwich on a soft roll, eggs Benedict on a refined English muffin. These combinations feel classic, feel normal, feel like breakfast. But from a nutritional standpoint, they create a metabolic response inside your body that directly undermines the benefits eggs are supposed to deliver. Here's the science, broken down simply. When you eat refined carbohydrates, white bread, for instance, your body breaks them down into glucose very rapidly. The fiber has been stripped away during processing, the bran is gone, the germ is gone. What remains is essentially a starch that converts to sugar in your bloodstream almost as fast as table sugar itself. White bread has a glycemic index of roughly 75. Pure glucose is 100, so you're not far off. This rapid glucose spike triggers a correspondingly large insulin surge. Your pancreas floods your bloodstream with insulin to manage the sudden sugar load. And here's where the conflict with eggs begins. Eggs are rich in healthy fats and protein, both of which, when eaten alone or with fiber-rich whole foods, promote slow, steady digestion and stable blood sugar. Choline, one of the star nutrients in egg yolks, supports liver function and fat metabolism. The B vitamins in eggs help your cells convert food into clean, usable energy rather than storing it as fat. But when you dump a massive insulin spike on top of all that by eating refined bread alongside those eggs, your body shifts into storage mode. Insulin tells your cells to stop burning and start storing. The healthy fats from the egg yolks that should be fueling your brain and supporting your cell membranes, they get shuttled into fat storage instead. The steady, sustained energy eggs should provide gets overridden by the sugar crash that follows the bread's glycemic spike. For seniors, this is particularly dangerous, and I want to explain why carefully. After 60, your body's insulin sensitivity naturally declines. Your cells don't respond to insulin as efficiently as they used to. This condition, called insulin resistance, is incredibly common in older adults, even those who aren't diabetic. When you repeatedly spike your insulin with refined carbohydrates at breakfast, you're accelerating that resistance. Over months and years, this contributes directly to type 2 diabetes development, increased visceral fat around your organs, chronic low-grade inflammation, and elevated triglyceride levels. And there's a nutrient blocking effect happening too. Eggs contain iron, a modest amount but meaningful, especially for seniors who may already be borderline anemic. The phytic acid and processing residues in refined grains can inhibit iron absorption in the gut. So that small but valuable amount of iron from your morning eggs gets partially wasted because the white toast sitting next to them on the plate interferes with uptake. If you're over 60 or caring for an elderly loved one, this information could genuinely change the trajectory of long-term health. Small swaps at breakfast ripple outward across entire years of well-being. So, what do you reach for instead? Whole grain sourdough for starters, real sourdough, where the fermentation process breaks down some of the phytic acid and lowers the glycemic impact. Ezekiel bread, made from sprouted grains and legumes, pairs beautifully with eggs because it provides slow-release energy and additional plant protein. Even better, skip the bread entirely some mornings and pair your eggs with sautéed spinach, sliced avocado, or roasted sweet potato. These whole food carbohydrates come bundled with fiber, potassium, and magnesium, all of which complement the nutrient profile of eggs rather than fighting against it. Your blood sugar stays even. Your energy lasts through the morning. The choline, the B12, the lutein, all of it gets absorbed the way nature intended. Now for food number 3. And I deliberately saved this one for last because it's the pairing that people resist hearing about the most. The one that gets the most pushback because it seems so harmless, so wholesome, so deeply associated with a healthy breakfast. Orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice cocktail, sweetened iced tea, and yes, even those all-natural, no sugar-added fruit juices that come in the glass bottles and look like something a nutritionist would approve of. Let me be clear. Whole fruit, an actual orange, a whole apple, is wonderful. Fruit contains fiber, water content, and a cellular structure that slows down sugar absorption naturally. Fruit juice is a different product entirely. When you juice a fruit, you strip away the fiber and concentrate the sugar. An 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains roughly 21 grams of sugar. That's about 5 teaspoons. A glass of apple juice has closer to 24 grams. Cranberry juice cocktail can reach 30 grams or more per serving. Drinking that alongside your eggs creates a metabolic storm that's remarkably similar to what we discussed with white bread, but in some ways it's actually worse. Liquid sugar absorbs even faster than solid refined carbohydrates because there's no chewing involved, no mechanical digestion required, no fiber-slowing gastric emptying. The fructose in fruit juice hits your liver rapidly and in concentrated form. Your liver processes fructose differently than glucose. Large boluses of fructose get converted directly into triglycerides. That's fat circulating in your blood. Elevated triglycerides are one of the strongest independent risk factors for heart disease in adults over 60. So, picture the morning scenario. You eat 2 eggs, which are gently raising your HDL cholesterol and delivering heart-protective omega-3 fatty acids. Then you wash them down with a glass of juice that spikes your triglycerides, overwhelms your liver, and triggers an insulin cascade. The eggs are building one thing, the juice is tearing it apart simultaneously. There's a specific interaction with calcium absorption worth mentioning as well. Eggs contain small but meaningful amounts of vitamin D and phosphorus, both of which support calcium metabolism and bone density, critically important for seniors managing osteoporosis risk. The high acidity and sugar content in fruit juice can alter your gut's pH environment during digestion, reducing the efficiency of calcium and mineral absorption from other foods eaten in the same meal. Studies published in the Journal of Nutrition have shown that high fructose consumption interferes with vitamin D metabolism at the kidney level, potentially reducing the activation of vitamin D into its usable form. So, the vitamin D in your egg yolk, one of the few reliable dietary sources of this essential nutrient, gets partially neutralized by the juice you're drinking beside it. For seniors specifically, there's another layer to this problem. Many older adults take medications in the morning with breakfast. Certain blood pressure medications, thyroid drugs, and cholesterol-lowering statins can interact unpredictably with the high sugar and acid content in fruit juices, affecting absorption timing and efficacy. Grapefruit juice is the most notorious offender. It contains compounds called furanocoumarins that block an enzyme in your intestinal wall responsible for breaking down many common medications, causing drug levels in your blood to rise dangerously high. But even non-grapefruit juices create an acidic, high-sugar digestive environment that's far from ideal when you're trying to absorb both medication and egg-based nutrients simultaneously. So what should you drink with your morning eggs? Water with a squeeze of fresh lemon is the simplest, cleanest option. Herbal teas, peppermint, ginger, chamomile provide warmth and gentle digestive support without sugar or acid interference. Green tea offers a small caffeine boost along with catechins that actually enhance nutrient absorption. And if you genuinely love the taste of orange in the morning, eat an actual orange 30 minutes after your egg breakfast. The fiber in the whole fruit slows fructose absorption dramatically, and the time gap lets your body finish processing the egg nutrients before introducing the fruit sugars. So let's pull all of this together, because I want you walking away from this video with absolute clarity. Eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense, affordable, accessible foods on the planet. For people over 60, they provide brain-supporting choline, muscle-preserving complete protein, bone-strengthening vitamin D, and eye-protecting antioxidants. They are genuinely one of the best things you can eat. But 3 common breakfast pairings quietly sabotage those benefits every single morning. First, processed meats like bacon, sausage, and deli ham. They introduce carcinogenic nitrosamines, flood your system with inflammatory sodium, and counteract the cardiovascular protection eggs provide through HDL cholesterol support. Second, white bread and refined carbohydrates. They spike your blood sugar and insulin, shift your metabolism into fat storage mode, and block the slow, steady energy release that eggs are designed to deliver. Third, fruit juice and sugary beverages. They overload your liver with fructose, elevate triglycerides, interfere with vitamin D activation, and create an acidic gut environment that reduces mineral absorption from your meal. The fix isn't complicated. Pair your eggs with whole vegetables, spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, avocado. Choose whole grain or sprouted bread when you want something hearty. Drink water, herbal tea, or green tea. Eat whole fruit separately, later in the morning. These small, simple shifts protect everything those eggs are trying to do for your body. They cost nothing extra. They take no extra time. They just require knowing what you now know and choosing differently tomorrow morning. Your body at 60, 70, 80, and beyond deserves a breakfast that actually works. You've spent a lifetime feeding the people you love. Now feed yourself with the same care, the same intention, the same thoughtfulness. If this video helped you see your morning plate a little differently, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. We cover senior health topics every single week with the same depth and honesty you got today. Share this video with someone you love, someone whose breakfast might need a small but powerful upgrade, and drop a comment below telling me, what's your go-to egg breakfast? I read every single one, and I'd love to hear from you. Take care of yourself. You're worth every bit of effort it takes.